The movie begins by showing the parallel world that formed millions of years ago when the Big Bang explosion created two identical planets, Earth planet and the Cat planet, separated by nature and time. The Earth planet is inhabited by humans, and the Cat planet is inhabited by cat species capable of transforming itself into human beings and creating a portal connecting the two worlds. The secret had been kept for thousands of years until one day, a young man on Earth named Yu Qiyan finally learned the secret. Qiyan was a young man who worked as a shopkeeper at the bookstore next to his house. He was known to rarely interact with other people. For him, interacting with animals was more fun. So, he was frequently seen feeding stray cats on the streets. Unlike others whose lives depended heavily on smartphones, Qiyan used an old cell phone that could only be used to call and exchange messages. He also seemed uninterested in a love affair like the youth because he did not have many friends. He only had a friend named Zihao, a veterinarian.
没机会了，去吧，好不好啊？
Besides spending time running a bookstore, Qiyan was a writer, and some of his works have been published. One day, Qiyan rescued a white cat that had almost been hit by a car. Seeing the cat's foot hurt, he cared for the cat in his house. The following day, the newly awakened Qiyan was startled by a naked girl who was suddenly in his home. At that time, Qiyan did not realize that the girl was the cat he had previously saved. He immediately gave the clothes to her. Zihao, who came to Qiyan's house, was astonished at the mysterious girl's behavior, which looked like a cat always attracted to the objects around her. The cat girl still had scars on her feet like when she was a cat. Therefore, Qiyan asked Zihao for help treating the strange girl's wound. The cat girl was then taken to the veterinary clinic where Zihao worked, and he began treating the wound on her leg. After Zihao treated her wound, he left to store his equipment for a while. At the same time, the cat girl saw a lot of pets in the iron chests. She opened all the cages to release all the caged animals before leaving there. When Zihao returned, he was surprised that all the pets in the veterinary clinic had come out of their cages. He asked Qiyan to help find all the animals that had escaped from his animal clinic. On the other hand, the cat girl went to a deserted place to open a portal connecting the Earth with her world. However, she could not go home. Her hands were suddenly tied to a mysterious bracelet. In her confusion, the cat girl met Afu, a kind-hearted man from the cat planet who had lived on Earth long enough. Afu patiently explained that all cats from their worlds had the power to transform into a human when they were on planet Earth. The ability was unstable except for those who had the duty to watch over the cats on planet Earth. Afu also said that if their people get good from humans. After getting an explanation from Afu, the cat girl met Qiyan, who was collecting animals that escaped from the Zihao clinic. She explained that she was the cat that had been helped by him the other day and would grant him a request to help him. Qiyan did not believe this and immediately delivered the animal he had caught to the clinic. Suddenly, the cat girl turned into a white cat in front of him. Seeing that, Qiyan was surprised and ran scared. At night, the cat girl came to Qiyan's house to grant his wish. She explained that she could give any request except to revive a deceased person. Unfortunately, Qiyan did not have any desire in his life. The cat girl had difficulty granting his request until she got tired and fell asleep. Seeing the girl sleeping on the couch, Qiyan tucked her in a blanket. The following day, Qiyan had to hold back his anger every time the cat girl made a mess of his house. He tried to understand her behavior, especially after he knew that she was the incarnation of a cat. Therefore, Qiyan trained her to do the work that humans do by giving her snacks after she did something correctly. One day, Qiyan saw the cat girl destroy his book. He got angry and kicked her out of his house. The girl followed Qiyan, throwing away the book she had damaged. She realized she had made a mistake, so she tried to fix the book. Qiyan, who saw the cat girl was outside and fixing his book, felt sorry. Moreover, she was not wearing footwear, so he came out and gave a pair of slippers to her. The cat girl apologized to Qiyan and said she would immediately leave there. She asked him to tell her about the request she had to grant. Since Qiyan couldn't bear to abandon the cat girl, he finally allowed her to live with him. Qiyan's days after living with the cat girl became more colorful because of her cute behavior.
增加幸福感。推动的人进行体育锻炼，提供人与人相互交流的机会。
One day, after the cat girl watched the show on television, she decided on a human nickname. She told Qiyan about it, but he didn't like the nickname because it was too strange and long. On another occasion, the cat girl met Afu. She told him that she was currently living with humans. She asked Afu about everything humans need, including the meaning of being in love. Afu explained that human relationships are divided into family, friends, and lovers. Falling in love will be associated with a lover's relationship that occurs when a man and a woman meet and feels shy and nervous, and the heart beats fast. falling in love can also make the heart feel warmth. After hearing Ah Fu's explanation, the cat girl saw Qian chatting with a flower shopkeeper girl named Ha Meng. The cat girl came up with the idea of pairing Qian with Ha Meng. She hoped Qian would ask for a request to get Ha Meng. She then asked Ha Meng to teach her how to cook at Qian's house. The cat girl planned to lock Qian and Ha Meng in the barn while hoping that the two would fall in love with each other. Unfortunately, the plan didn't work. Qian didn't have any feelings for Ha Meng even though she had liked him for a long time. The cat girl had not given up on making Qian ask her for a wish. She tries to dump Qian's beloved fish in a lake in the hope that he will drown while saving the fish and ask for a wish that she would help him. However, this plan also failed because when the cat girl was about to push Qian, she ended up splashing into the lake. So, he saved her right away. Arriving at home, Qian, who was worried, reprimanded the cat girl for what she had done that day. After the cat girl took a shower, Qian asked her to talk and said he allowed her to stay there for as long as she wanted. However, he asked her to obey some of the rules he made. Not only that, but he also gave Xiao Xiu's name to the cat girl. It was named after a shipwrecked history of 3 enormous ships after Qian saw the cat girl almost drown in the lake. He hoped that the name would provide protection to her. One day, Xiao Xiu accidentally broke one of Qian's rules not to read his diary. Looking at the book, she saw Qian's picture with someone from the past. Seeing Xiao Xiu open his diary, Qian was furious without listening to her explanation. Xiao Xiu was so upset that she went to see Ah Fu in a garden. She revealed that she felt unlucky to have to meet a human who had no desire at all. Ah Fu tried to give Xiao Xiu an understanding that Qian probably hadn't realized the biggest desire within him. Xiao Xiu told Ah Fu about the incident because she accidentally opened Qian's diary. Ah Fu explained that humans did not like their secrets to be known by others, like cats who did not like parts of their bodies that were touched carelessly. On the way home, Xiao Xiu seemed to ponder the human proverb that Ah Fu said there was no coincidence in the world because everything happened for a reason. He asked her to remain patient with humans. When Xiao Xiu passed a bar, she was attracted by the smell of alcoholic beverages. Out of curiosity, she entered the bar and took a few sips of the drink. She then got drunk, which made her cat ears and tail slowly appear. Many people inside the bar noticed her. She finally left the bar after a few men followed her. Luckily, Qian, who was looking for her, saw her hiding and immediately took her home. Upon arriving home, Xiao Xiu apologized for everything she had done that day. Neither did Qian apologize for not listening to her explanation of the diary that she accidentally read. A few days later, Qian and Xiao Xiu helped a boy, one of the loyal customers of Qian's bookstore, Qin Liang, who was being bullied by a group of punk youths.
是不是最后一次是你说？让你走了吗？
After Qian managed to escape and reported the group of bad boys to the police station, the police finally arrested them because they were carrying sharp weapons. At the police station, Qian met with Qin Liang's older sister, Qin Ming, who turned out to be Qian's old friend at school. Qin Ming was very grateful to Qian for saving her brother, and they exchanged contact. She then said goodbye to going home with her brother. The following day, Xiao Xiu, who was in the form of a cat, accidentally served a customer who came to Qian's bookstore. The customer was impressed with the cat action in front of him and quickly recorded the incident. After turning into a human being, Xiao Xiu went to the laundry and met a man named Linmo, who seemed to know her. Realizing that Xiao Xiu did not know him, Linmo said that he only mistook her for someone he knew and then left the laundry. Shortly after, Xiao Xiu's video while serving a customer in the form of a cat went viral. Many visitors flocked to Qian's bookstore to record Xiao Xiu. Knowing this, Xiao Xiu transformed into a cat and returned to serve the customers who came there. However, Qian seemed to prefer something else. He subtly shooed away the customers by saying that his store would soon be closed. Xiao Xiu was upset with Qian because, with her video, Qian's shop would have more customers and help him pay the rent in his bookstore. Qian, who was also upset, yelled at her and said that all of that would only trouble Xiao Xiu. Xiao Xiu, increasingly confused by Qian's wishes, decided to go to a private detective named Bei to help her find out what Qian wanted. However, because her money wasn't enough to pay the detective, she looked for a side job to raise money. Unfortunately, she was tricked by a man who promised to make her a model by paying her some money. Her remaining coins also had to fall into the gutter, making her efforts to collect more money pointless. At night, Qian again apologized to Xiao Xiu for yelling at her. Xiao Xiu also apologized because she had acted as she wished without informing him. The following day, Xiao Xiu seemed to announce in front of the bookstore, telling all customers that the viral cat in the store had left. One day, Qin Ming came to Qian's bookstore and accidentally met Zihao, who liked her from the time he first met her while they were still in school. Zihao had no idea that the girl she wanted to know was her best friend, Qian. Ming then invited them all to eat together. Since Xiaoxi was so eager to come along, Yan was forced to join them. After finishing the meal, the four of them continued with karaoke. Xiaoxiu accidentally drank alcohol, making her leave the karaoke room immediately because her cat's ears and tail appeared. Yan, aware of that, followed her right away and took her to the convenience store to buy a hangover remedy. As Yan walked into the convenience store, Xiaoxiu seemed to be waiting for him outside using an umbrella because it suddenly rained. Unfortunately, the medicine was running out, so Yan bought an animal-eared raincoat to cover Xiaoxiu's ears and tail. She seemed happy to get the raincoat, and they went home together. From a distance, Meng smiled at Yan, looking glad for Xiaoxiu even though it meant she had to let go of the man she loved with others. One day, Linmo couldn't pay his debt, and the group of loan sharks beat him up. Luckily, Xiaoxiu saw Linmo's condition. She immediately asked Yan to help Linmo and brought him to Yan's house. After getting treatment, Linmo thanked Xiaoxiu and Yan before he left. Once, Yan got word that his schoolteacher, Yushan, had died. He seemed very struck by the news. At school, Yushan became the only person who understood him. Yushan was the man in the photo Xiaoxiu found in Yan's diary the other day. On the day of Yushan's funeral, in addition to Yan, Zihao and Xiaoxiu also came. When Zihao was with Xiaoxiu, he revealed that he couldn't tell the expression on Yan's face when sad or happy because Yan's attitude was always cold. Zihao told her that Yan's father died when he was in elementary school, whereas his mother went from home to marry a rich man. She left Yan, who was raised by his grandfather. After his grandfather died, Yan lived independently and continued his grandfather's bookstore business. From Zihao's story, Xiaoxiu now understood why Yan was so cold and difficult to approach. However, she believed Yan had a soft heart even though he looked freezing and careless. After the funeral, Yan invited Xiaoxiu to go to his grandfather's old house and spend the night there. Yan, who was sad, seemed to be destroying something in his grandfather's yard. Xiaoxiu stopped him because she knew Yan was trying to cover up all his grief. After feeling calmer, Yan began to tell her about all the people closest to him who had left him. Xiaoxiu also shared about the departure of her older sister who died in the human world when she was little. She revealed that her older sister was very loving, but suddenly her sister had an accident on Earth and couldn't return to the planet of cats. Xiaoxiu and her parents tried not to be sad. They didn't even want to discuss it, although they never forgot her. Hearing Xiaoxiu's story, Yan felt he had to learn to let go of everyone who had left his life. The following day, Linmo met his friend Meng Fei to seek information about someone he had been looking for. Linmo was one of the people from Cat Planet. He arrived on Earth to find out who killed his girlfriend, Xiaoxiu's sister, who was very similar to Xiaoxiu. Linmo almost thought that Xiaoxiu was his deceased girlfriend on Earth. From Meng Fei's information, it turns out that Linmo's girlfriend's killer was none other than Yan. On the other hand, Yan was taking Xiaoxiu to his school while telling her that he had met a white cat at the school he constantly fed. Suddenly, the cat died, and all his friends accused him of being the cat's killer. Yan, who was quiet, could not resist and defend himself against the charges. Especially with his passion as a writer of murderous novels with a broken home family background, everyone gave Yan a psychopathic nickname. Although his teacher, Yushan, helped him to prevent the rumor from spreading, in the end, he couldn't do much when the rumor spread throughout the school, so Yan was known as a psychopath who liked to kill cats. From Yan's story, neither of them seemed to know that the white cat Yan was referring to was Xiaoxiu's sister. The following day, Linmo tried to get his revenge on Yan. However, when he was about to harm Yan, Xiaoxiu rescued Yan, causing her leg to hurt. And she had to be taken to the hospital. The doctor who treated Xiaoxiu at the hospital was Dr. Luo, Yan's senior at school. The two then chatted briefly in the hospital waiting room. Luo Feng revealed that this was the first time Yan cared so much about other people. It was very different from Yan he had known 10 years ago. Yan smiled and said he was very grateful to him because he had always been there to help him. Since the injuries on Xiaoxiu's feet were severe enough, the healing process took a long time, and Yan always looked after and helped her. On one occasion, Linmo seemed to invite Xiaoxiu to eat to discuss their work. He apologized to her even though Xiaoxiu did not understand Linmo's apology.
那你喜欢他吗？
喜欢啊。
我说的喜欢，不是那种普通的喜欢。
Even though his acts of revenge were hurting others, Linmo still insisted on revenge against Yan. Shortly after, Linmo was visiting Meng Fei again to ask for a potion that could sustain his human form for longer.
你怎么会有这个？
Unlike Xiao Xiu, who had to repay human kindness, Linmo's human form could not be more stable than Xiao Xiu's. However, the potion's side effects would make Linmo lose his sense of smell and distinctive aroma as a cat. So, neither Linmo nor Xiao Xiu could tell they were from the same species. One day, Qian met Zhangyi, the stepson of his mother who came from a wealthy family. Despite living with wealth, Zhangyi had been envious of Qian who could publish various works. Meanwhile, he aspired to be a writer but could not achieve his dream. He even tried to bring down Qian's good name, but the plan ultimately failed.
这个系列呢，最吸引大家的应该就是反派的设定。
On the other hand, Qian felt hurt by his biological mother, who was more attentive to Zhangyi.
传明啊，那么长时间了，到底发生什么事了？你们知道他是谁吗？有个三长两短，你们4个了。
When his mother met him, his mother said that she would replace all her mistakes in the past with money.
从小有天赋，有才华。
Hearing that, Qian was getting hurt and chose to leave her immediately. He seemed angry and disappointed with everything that happened. Under the pouring rain, Xiao Xiu tried to convince Qian that he was not alone in bearing all his problems.
我就是你的盔甲。
He hugged Xiao Xiu and thanked her for always being there for him. Every day, Xiao Xiu increasingly realized that her current happiness was Qian, a human being who had a different world than her. One day, she expressed her feelings for Qian.
所以我想要你也能喜欢我。
But he did not seem to respond even though he felt the same feelings towards her. Qian chose to limit himself because he knew that one day Xiao Xiu would return to the world where she came from. Xiao Xiu, who felt sad for her one-sided love, decided to meet Ah Fu and tell him about the problem. Ah Fu explained that the concept of love in the human world has such a great responsibility that it is not easy for them to admit it.
他才在我打招呼的时候应我一声。
Meanwhile, Kinming finally expressed her feelings to Qian after she harbored those feelings for a long time. She thought she didn't deserve to be by Qian's side because she never helped him when he was in trouble.
布上了一层亮晶晶的结晶，就连最细小的树枝都显得光彩夺目。
Qian said that he never blamed Kinming even though she didn't help him, but he couldn't accept her love. The two of them finally decided to be good friends. After seeing Ah Fu, Xiao Xiu met Linmo who wanted to tell her about her deceased girlfriend, which made him very sad. While listening to Linmo's story, Xiao Xiu accidentally drank alcohol, so her identity as a cat human was almost revealed if she did not leave the place right away.
拔出来摁进去都会疼。
我有事，我先走了。
Unfortunately, Xiao Xiu, hiding in the form of a drunk cat, was captured by a mysterious man who put her in an iron cage. He took her to a place where many cats were locked up, and there was various medical equipment. With her ingenuity, Xiao Xiu managed to escape from the place, but she fainted from exhaustion and got carried away in a load to an island. When Xiao Xiu woke up, she had been on board. She borrowed the phone of a crew member to contact Qian, who was currently with Ah Fu. He was trying to find Xiao Xiu, who had suddenly disappeared. Knowing Xiao Xiu was on a ship, Qian quickly met a fisherman who was willing to lease his boat to chase after the ship Xiao Xiu was on. After successfully pursuing the ship, Qian finally realized that he was not ready to lose Xiao Xiu, so he revealed his feelings to her. They both formally established a relationship. Qian, who was now Xiao Xiu's boyfriend, seemed to become more open and told her a lot of things. He also explained that she had chosen to be alone because, from childhood, all the people he loved left him one by one. He thought if he was alone, he would not feel hurt over the departure of his loved ones. However, it all changed after he met Xiao Xiu. One day, Linmo came to Qian's house and attacked Qian, asleep on the couch. Strangely, when he was about to stab Qian, it looked like a seal was protecting him, so Linmo chose to leave before he was caught. In a garden, Qian and Xiao Xiu seemed to be sitting together while talking about the kidnapping experienced by Xiao Xiu. It led her to a mysterious place where many cats were locked up. They both agreed to investigate the case, so they tried to follow the man who had previously arrested Xiao Xiu. A few days later, Qian, trying to entertain Xiao Xiu, brought her to have fun in the amusement park and enjoyed their company, so their relationship became closer. So did Kinming, who had now become Zihao's girlfriend. When Xiao Xiu met and told Linmo about her relationship with Qian, Linmo seemed surprised because now he would have difficulty getting revenge on Qian. On another occasion, Xiao Xiu met Kei, the private detective, to ask for help investigating the cat hunt in the city. One night, Ah Fu picked up Xiao Xiu's father, Gao Xing, from the cat planet. He came to Earth after he got the news that his daughter was living with humans, a thing still considered taboo in the cat world. Shortly after, Gao Xing immediately went to Xiao Xiu and asked her to come home. However, Xiao Xiu refused because she was sure her relationship with Qiyan would run smoothly. Not only that, but she also showed the bracelet that tied her to Qiyan, who had to make a wish. Gao Xing then decided to stay temporarily at Qiyan's house to keep an eye on him and his daughter. At first, he did not believe in Qiyan's sincerity. He always asked Qiyan to immediately ask for a wish so his daughter could return to the cat planet. However, seeing Qiyan's sincerity to Xiao Xiu, Gao Xing finally understood why his daughter loved him. One day, Gao Xing met with Afu and expressed his concerns about Xiao Xiu and Qiyan's relationship from a different world. Afu said that the power of love was able to unite people regardless of where they came from. Gao Xing was worried that the relationship between the two would have no end. However, Afu explained that they had no right to judge Xiao Xiu and Qiyan's relationship unless Gao Xing had gone into the future and seen the end of his daughter's relationship. Regardless of the end of Xiao Xiu and Qiyan's love story, maintaining today's happiness is the most important thing. One night, Linmo, meeting Mengfei, finally learned that Xiao Xiu was from the cat world after knowing that Gao Xing, Xiao Xiu's father, was on Earth. Linmo then went to Gao Xing and told him that Qiyan had killed Gao Xing's first daughter. Linmo invited Gao Xing to join him to avenge the death of Gao Xing's first daughter. However, Gao Xing did not believe Qiyan was the perpetrator of his daughter's murder. He refused Linmo's request for revenge because he did not want to be blinded by vengeance. Linmo seemed disappointed, and he chose to leave him. To continue his act of revenge, Linmo went to Xiao Xiu and told her about a cat seal owned by Qiyan that protected Qiyan from his attack. Linmo asked Xiao Xiu to look for the object because, according to the legend, the cat seal could make a nation of cats like them turn into fully human beings. Xiao Xiu was pleased to hear that she could become a whole human being and live with Qiyan forever. Therefore, she obeyed Linmo's request to find the cat seal. She then began searching for the object until, one day, she found an antique book barricade that she believed to be a cat seal. Xiao Xiu asked Qiyan to keep the booklet. Qiyan, who knew nothing about cat seals, allowed her to keep the thing. After learning that Qiyan had no protector, Linmo again attacked him. However, Linmo's actions failed because Xiao Xiu came to stop him. On the other hand, Qiyan, injured by Linmo's attack, had to be hospitalized. At that time, Linmo met Qiyan, and he finally told him that his attack was to avenge Xiao Xiu's sister's death. Qiyan said he was not the perpetrator of Linmo's girlfriend's murder. He forgave Linmo for all the assaults he had made. After all the misunderstandings, they agreed to find out who killed Xiao Xiu's sister. On the other hand, Xiao Xiu objected to forgiving Linmo for attacking Qiyan even though Linmo did so for her sister's sake. Shortly after the incident, Gao Xing finally decided to return to Cat Planet and trust Qiyan completely to keep his daughter on Earth. Sometime later, Xiao Xiu, who had been investigating the cat capture case, finally learned of several people involved in the stolen cat trading group. Qiyan and Xiao Xiu then tried to obtain evidence by recording the perpetrator while performing his actions. Unfortunately, by the time they both did that, they were attacked by other members of the cat trading group who made Xiao Xiu have to get hit while protecting Qiyan. Xiao Xiu, who was seriously injured, immediately rushed to the hospital. Unfortunately, Xiao Xiu lost a lot of blood, and she had to instantly get a blood donor from her family. The doctors identified that Xiao Xiu's blood type was different from that of people. Afu, aware of her condition, tried to donate his blood, but it didn't really help Xiao Xiu's weakened state. Since Qiyan didn't want to lose her, he made a wish for Xiao Xiu to recover because he would lose all his memories of her. Qiyan's wish came true. Xiao Xiu woke up in a strange place where only the cat race knew her. When she met Qiyan, he didn't recognize her at all. Xiao Xiu, puzzled by the situation, decided to meet Afu, who explained that it was all because Qiyan had requested to save her. Xiao Xiu did not want to give up on the situation. She tried to build a relationship with Qiyan and his friends until finally, Qiyan slowly began to remember his memories while with Xiao Xiu. The scene turns to the past. It tells the story of a cat girl who has to watch over all her people on Earth. One day, the cat girl was attacked by a wolf, and she was wounded and saved by a young man. For having accepted the good of man, the cat girl must grant the young man one wish. However, they both ended up falling in love and chose never to discuss the request to keep them together. One day, an elder from Planet Cat came and threatened the young to make a wish immediately. The young man's friend apparently knew about it. He secretly told the elder of Planet Cat about the young man's wish for his village to prosper. After the request was fulfilled, the cat girl returned to her home world. But she refused to be a supervisor in the human world, and she was locked up. When the cat girl found out that she did not have long to live, she secretly met the young man and gave him a cat seal. In the end, the cat girl died carrying all her regrets for the rest of her life. In the present, Xiao Xi was beginning to look close to everyone she had ever known before. When she started to lose her human form and had to return to the cat world, she went to Qiyan and handed him the bookmark she had once taken from Qiyan's book. When the two held the bookmark, a light appeared, and all of Qiyan's memories of his past with Xiao Xi finally returned. Shortly after that, a cat woman named Maoshi, known as the Legend of the Cat World, appeared in the place. She was a girl who once loved humans like Xiao Xiu. It's just that her love story has to end tragically. A bookmark was an object used as her memento to the young man she used to love. She hoped the bookmark would one day help humans and cats who love each other live together forever. Finally, the bookmark continued to be passed on until it belonged to Qian as the descendant of the young man. The bookmark, a cat seal, possessed some of Maoxi's powers to protect its owner from danger. It also gave Xiaoxiu the power to maintain her human form longer. Maoxi revealed that she was happy to realize her dreams after seeing the power of Qian and Xiaoxiu's love. After Qian gained his memory, Xiaoxiu and Qian began investigating the case of illegal cat capture again. Qian had to move to a new house because his old house would be built for a government project, and he also reopened the bookstore. Dr. Luo seemed to give a gift to Qian as a congratulation on opening a new Qian bookstore. A few days later, Xiaoxiu told Qian she suspected Dr. Luo as the cat capture mastermind. She had seen Dr. Luo give some money to the man who had arrested her earlier. However, Qian did not believe it because Dr. Luo was known as a good man. As it turns out, Xiaoxiu's suspicion was true. Dr. Luo turned out to have known the location of the cat man who came to Earth. He was also the one who killed Xiaoxiu's sister to be used as experimental material. The men who had arrested Xiaoxiu were his men. Dr. Luo learned that Xiaoxiu was from the cat world after he helped care for her in the hospital. He tried to keep an eye on her using the hidden camera in the gift given to Qian. Until one day, he had a chance to sneak into Qian's house and kidnap Xiaoxiu for research. When everyone found out Xiaoxiu had disappeared, Qian and the others immediately searched for her. Linmo also came to help by informing them that Meng Fei had managed to find Dr. Luo's hiding place. On the other hand, Dr. Luo urged Xiaoxiu to get herself to the cat planet. At the same time, Qian and the others rushed to Dr. Luo's hideout to save Xiaoxiu. Knowing that Qian and his friends were coming, Dr. Luo Feng escaped and ran to the roof of the building. But it made him become cornered after the police went to the place. Dr. Luo, who was starting to panic, explained that he did not break the law because no law could ensnare the research actions he did on cats. Xiaoxi replied that cats and other animals did not deserve to be treated arbitrarily because they also had feelings. Dr. Luo's action could not be justified. Qian, who had been angry, then ran towards Dr. Luo and fell together from the roof of the building. As a result, Dr. Luo suffered severe injuries and a mental breakdown after receiving treatment because of his wounds, whereas Qian only suffered minor injuries, so he could get back together with Xiaoxiu and his friends. Meanwhile, the incident of catching the cat received widespread public attention after the media revealed it. On the other hand, Linmo finally decided to go home to the cat planet because he now had no regrets whatsoever after learning of the murder of his girlfriend. The last scene shows Qian and Xiaoxiu, who continue their lives happily. So did Zihao, who finally proposed to Qinming, his girlfriend. The moral that can be learned from this movie is that love can give wounds, but love can also heal wounds.